So this is kind of rare. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So I felt it was important to share what consent to dual representation means, and or dual agency or implied agency. Basically, whenever you buy a house, the realtor is involved. You have a buyer's agent and a seller's agent, basically, correct? In those two separate entities, you have an agency relationship with the buyer and the buyer's agent. You have an agency relationship with the seller and the selling agent. So therefore, you're separate, right? You have two people involved, and they're negotiating on behalf of the person in the middle. Every now and then, somebody will call directly to the listing agent or selling agent and want them to represent them as a buyer for the house. The catch with that is now you're representing both the buyer and the seller. So there's this fiduciary responsibility thing that lies kind of like, doctor-client privilege, attorney-client privilege, things like that, to where the listing agent has a fiduciary responsibility with the seller, so there's certain things that they take to the grave. So now the buyer wants the listing agent to represent them, so now there's a fiduciary responsibility with the buyer. So there's a fine line there. It's a crazy little dance you have to do. I've done it. It's not always the easiest thing in the world. Sometimes it can be extremely stressful. Sometimes very smooth. It just depends on both parties involved. Needless to say, there is a document that discloses that both parties are aware that one realtor is representing them both. When in doubt, disclose. When in doubt, follow the advice of the listing agent, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you if you have your own realtor, and they're going to want to really guide you to using your own realtor just to keep the waters from being murky. Because again, it's not the easiest thing in the world to accomplish being a dual agent. I've done it. It's sometimes it's great, sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's super stressful. So that's my 2 cents on representing both sides of the transaction. It's consent to limited dual representation and or dual agency, and I've even heard it called implied agency. For more information from the Real Estate Guy and everything real estate related, reach out today at 602-321-6188 or simply watch the next video.